So let's head over to the slides.view component file, and okay, basically we'll have a data property for this component, and it's going to return an array of images sources. Okay, so let's just put some basically some temp data there, and I'll have to import some images in a bit, but I'll do that in the background. All right, so let's add in a data property function there, and basically all the function does is return an array, which, well, actually just returns a property, an object with a property of slides, and that slides is an array, and the array will be a list of objects with each having a property of source, and they're all linking to static /image and then /slide 1.png. so we'll need to have 5 objects there. So let's duplicate this 5 times. So slide 1 up to 5, so slide 4, 3, 2. Okay, so these do not exist yet, but I just want to show you that you can access the data property of your component class. All right, so in here, let's remove this temporary text here. So next, what we need to do is let's create another div called slides inner with a class of slides inner, and that would be the internal part of our slides. Okay, so in there, let's just loop over div, and then let's say v4. If you have watched my previous videos, you know that is how you do loops in VueJs. So you just do v-4 and then any property in the data object here. So as you can see, this data here is a function. We're using ES6, so the syntax, don't worry much about it. If you want, you can use ES5 like this. That's pretty fine as well, but we're going to be using ES6. Okay, so ES6 is pretty much cooler than the ES5, and the syntax is short as well. So v4, we're saying we want to loop over a certain property, so in this case slides. So let's say slide in slides. Okay, so for each single slide we want to output the href, the source, that is. Okay, so let's do slide.source and then save. In our browser it says we have an error, so expected indentation of 2 character but found 4. Okay, so this is ESLint that we're having problem with. So when you just bootstrap a new VueJs application, there's this thing called ESLint, and basically it just helps you format your project in a nice way. There's no errors in our project right now, but it's just telling us that the rules that were set out in this lint file, you have violated those rules, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to disable the ESLint so that it does not bother us in this tutorial video. All right, okay, so what we need to do to disable this linter is, let's go to our project. So come over to the config here, and well, actually not the config, is this here, the build folder. Just go to webpack.base.conf.js. okay, and scroll down to this part where it says module preloaders, and remove these 2 objects here. Okay, so basically these are the linter objects, so that are loaded by webpack, and webpack is the build tool that we're using for this project. Okay, so it's kind of beyond the scope of this project, but I probably will cover it in a later video. So just think of webpack as a different gulp. Okay, it does what gulp does, but in a different way. So let's remove ESLint as well here. So next, let's head over to our server, and now we're going to stop it and then start it again. Okay, so now we won't be having those error messages telling us about formatting and stuff, which is nice to have when you're building a development in the real world, but this is just tutorials and we don't want to be slowed down by that. So I'm going to refresh, and yeah, so everything seems to be fine. So let's go back to our project now, and I'm carrying with the tutorial. All right, so I am looping here in slides, and I'm saying slide dot source, so it should be slide dot source. Save that, head over to the browser and refresh. As you can see, now we're seeing all the sources listed here. Okay, So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create some images and then paste them in the static here. So static basically is where our images will live for this. Okay, so I'll pause the video and do that. Okay, so as you can see, we do have an image folder here now with these five slides here, slides 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so I created those, and yeah, so those will be included in the project files when I put them on GitHub. Okay, so carrying on with the tutorial, next let's create a slide basically component. Okay, so we have a slides component. Now let's create a slide component. So it's very simple. Let's do new file slide dot view. Okay, and in there we'll need a template. Okay, so let's close it, and in there let's have a div with a class of slide. Okay, and then let's have a script tag here. Oh, went ahead and created 2 for me. Didn't need that. Okay, so let's upgrade a style here as well. Right, and yeah, so this